Welcome to your orthopedic preoperative educational video for your upcoming knee replacement surgery at Good Samaritan Medical Center in West Palm Beach, Florida. Let us start by thanking you for entrusting our entire orthopedics team to care for you. Our mission is to provide high quality, compassionate, and innovative care to the communities we serve. This presentation will describe what you can expect before and after your knee surgery. We have created this recording so that you can return to it as frequently as needed to help answer any questions that may arise prior to your surgery. Let's go ahead and start the presentation. This presentation should provide you and your family or care team at home with all the information necessary so that you can go into your surgery as prepared as possible. Next, we'll talk about the importance of creating a post-op plan and what preoperative appointments and testing are required. Finally, we'll cover what equipment and medications will be needed, as well as the overall timeline of events for your surgical journey. These images depict a total knee replacement. The knee is a complex hinged joint. The knee replacement implant is therefore designed to recreate a frictionless joint surface aimed at restoring motion and decreasing pain. A metal femoral component is placed on the end of the femur like a cap. The metal tibial component is also placed on the top of the tibia. A plastic insert is then connected to the tibial component, and in doing so provides a smooth articulating surface for the femoral component. As a result, the entire knee joint on the end of the femur and the top of the tibia has been resurfaced. The images here show a partial knee replacement when compared to the total knee replacement shown on the previous slide. The partial knee replacement is also composed of metal femoral and tibial components, or caps, connected by a plastic insert. However, the partial knee replacement implant is smaller because it resurfaces only one of the compartments of the knee, whether that be the inside, the outside, or the compartment under the kneecap. If your arthritis is limited only to one of these compartments, your surgeon will likely recommend the partial knee replacement surgery. If your surgeon did not recommend the partial knee replacement, that means your arthritis is too advanced or that the total knee replacement would be better able to restore your function and decrease your pain levels. The ultimate goal of your surgery is to improve your mobility, decrease pain, and ultimately improve the function in your daily life. That is our plan for you so that you can live life with less pain and return to doing whatever it is that makes you happy. In this presentation, we will be discussing your needs before and after surgery to ensure that you will be prepared for your return home. After your surgery, we will arrange for a nurse and physical therapist to visit your home to review your medications and examine your incision. Please keep in mind, insurance companies have strict criteria and may not authorize use of a skilled nursing facility or acute rehab to meet these needs. Upon returning home after surgery, you may need assistance with preparing extra meals, medications, assistance with dressing, cleaning, grocery shopping, and even pet care need to be considered to make your recovery as smooth and successful as possible. Having a support person or coach, whether it be a family member or friend, is important and necessary for your safety and encouragement during your recovery. For the first week after surgery, we suggest having someone with you to provide this support throughout the day. These are not medical needs, and as a result, Medicare and all major commercial insurance plans do not provide coverage for these needs. If you would like resources for private care, please request this, and we will email you additional information. To prevent falls, please ensure that your home is clutter-free. Be sure to have wide walking paths, double-sided tape for any small rugs that can move or that could be a tripping hazard. Use nightlights for bedrooms, bathrooms, and hallways as needed. You should also store items that you use most frequently to a height no lower than your knees and no higher than your shoulders. You will need to arrange transportation to and from your surgery. An Uber driver is not an acceptable form of transportation home after surgery for safety reasons. You will also need to arrange a ride for your 2-week follow-up appointment to your doctor's office. Typically, you can resume driving 4 weeks after surgery, but this decision will ultimately be determined by your doctor. Innovative robotics and/or navigation technology may be used in your surgery. Total joint replacements have been performed successfully for many years without these advancements, but the technology allows for highly consistent and reproducible results by allowing for added precision and accuracy throughout the surgery. Navigation systems focus more on increased accuracy, while robotic systems focus more on increased precision. Some systems include components of both. The illustration on the screen will help you spot the differences between accuracy and precision. All testing and clearance appointments should be scheduled for 21 to 28 days before surgery for your safety. If all testing and clearances are not completed and received 2 weeks before the date of surgery, your surgery may need to be rescheduled to a later date.
Reviewing your equipment needs. You will be receiving a prescription for a two-wheeled walker in the white folder provided to you at the time of booking your surgery. This walker needs to have two wheels in the front and two posts in the back. It is recommended to use a form of ice therapy, whether it is an ice machine or gel packs. Other potential needs per physician include a motion machine, a reacher, a raised toilet seat, and a shower chair. Please reach out to your physician's office for more information regarding how to purchase these items. Medication needs for your surgery. You will be prescribed the following medication: a pain medication, a blood thinner, a stomach protectant, as well as a stool softener and/or laxative. Most blood thinners need to be stopped before surgery. Please speak with your doctor about when to discontinue use. Discontinue your vitamins, supplements, and NSAIDs 1 week prior to surgery. GLP-1s for weight loss and/or diabetes should be discontinued 1 week before surgery, not including the day of surgery. For at least 2 weeks prior to surgery, please avoid direct contact with anyone that is known to be ill, and try to avoid moderate to large gatherings to decrease the chance of any illness. You will receive a call from the nurse navigator 2 to 3 weeks before surgery. On this call, we will discuss your pre-surgery clearances, after surgery planning, review your medications, and answer any outstanding questions you may have. To decrease the risk of infections, please shower with the recommended antibacterial soap the night before and the morning of surgery. Please refer to the shower instructions on the slide. No eating on the day of surgery unless specifically told otherwise. You may drink Gatorade, Powerade, or Propel on the day of surgery, but it must be stopped at least 4 hours before your arrival time. Our surgery pre-admitting team will call you or your contact person the day prior to surgery to confirm your arrival time, review your medications, and give final instructions. Arriving at Good Samaritan Medical Center for your surgery. When you arrive at the Victor Ferris building, you may use our valet service or self-park in the attached garage. When entering the building, please proceed to the registration office on your left and kindly wait for the next available receptionist. Once registration is complete, please take the elevator located in the main lobby to the second floor. Upon reaching the second floor, please turn right and proceed to the double doors to check in for your surgery. Your company or support person will be able to wait in the surgical waiting area during your surgery. After surgery, you will recover in our post-anesthesia care unit. If you are scheduled as a same-day surgery, your surgeon will clear you for discharge if you meet our discharge safety criteria. If you are scheduled as a 24-hour observation, our post-operative care team will clear you for transport to our orthopedic designated unit on the fifth floor to recover from surgery overnight. This is where you will get a chance to rest and work directly with our orthopedic care team who will prepare you for next day discharge and a successful recovery at home. You will have a dressing over your incision, which must stay in place until your follow-up appointment. You will also receive home health visits by a therapist 2 to 3 times a week until your follow-up appointment. Having a pain management plan is very important. Cycles of gentle motion, followed by periods of rest, are also important. Ice and elevation are recommended for pain management and to decrease swelling. Your doctor may prescribe a medication to prevent blood clots. Taking your prescribed medications and getting up frequently will help prevent blood clots. Swelling, bruising, and mild numbness is normal after surgery. Some may also experience low-grade fevers and minor bleeding near the incisions, which is also normal. Constipation can occur when taking pain medications. We recommend that all patients drink at least 64 ounces of water daily. We also recommend that all patients start taking an over-the-counter stool softener twice daily until you are off all narcotic pain medication. Please call your doctor's office if you experience fevers greater than 102 degrees, severe calf pain, uncontrolled bleeding, or if you have not had a bowel movement 4 days after surgery. Call 911 if you experience chest pain, shortness of breath, slurred speech, confusion, or weakness to one side of the body. At your 2 week appointment, your provider will check your incision and assess your readiness to transition to outpatient therapy. The provider will also address when you can return to driving, return to work, return to traveling, and or begin aquatic therapy.
Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you soon.